Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Coward. Hope you're having a great day. Today, we're going to look at Module 8. So, Module 8 is going to be looking for slope and putting it in slope-intercept form. So, first thing we have to do is know what slope-intercept form is. So, our slope-intercept form is always y equals mx plus b. So, that is our slope-intercept form. So when we're looking at that, m is always our slope, b is always our y-intercept. So m is slope, b is y-intercept. So when we're finding these, that's all we have to find is the slope and the y-intercept in order to make this work. So our first one here, it says find the m and the b. So find the slope and the y-intercept. So remember we did this on Module 7. Our slope was rise over run. First thing we need to look for is the slope, our m. So we look, is this slope positive or negative? So this slope is negative. So I'm going to go ahead and put my negative sign here so I don't forget that. Now I need to find 2 points. I'm going to use this point here and this point here. And I'm going to do rise over run. So when I rise 1. When I run 2. So that gives me negative 1/2. Now I need to find my b, my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is real easy. It's where the line crosses the y-axis, where the player would intercept the ball on the y-axis. So that is this point here, which is 2. So we just start at 0, count up to 2, and that would be our y-intercept. So m is negative 1/2, b is 2. So now let's look and put that in y-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. So what we need to do is just replace the m with this negative 1/2. So y equals negative 1/2, bring the x down, and then we just need to replace the b with 2. So that would be slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Now let's look at a table. So we looked at a table finding our slope earlier. So finding the m of our slope. Remember, we start at the bottom and we subtract our way up. We do our loops. So I'm going to take 14 minus 8 is 6. 5 minus 3 is 2. Now we have to remember which one goes on top. Does the y go on top or the x? So which one goes on top? Here we're going to put the change in y. So change in y is 6. Change in x is 2. So 6 over 2, which would simplify to be 3. So our m is 3. Now we have to find our y-intercept. So finding the y-intercept is fairly easy on this. We look down our x-axis and we find a 0. Then we look across and see what the number is. So down the x, we find our 0. Then we look across and find what the y is. So when x is 0, y is negative 1/2. So our y-intercept for this one would be negative 1. Now we're going to put that into slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. So bring our 3 down and put it in for the m. Y equals 3x. And then we're going to have negative 1 for b. So we would write that as minus 1. So let's practice again on a table. So the first thing we want to look for is look down the x and find a 0. So we found our 0 here. We come straight across to this. And that gives us our y-intercept of 3. On a graph, remember we're looking for where it crosses the y-intercept. It crosses the y-intercept at negative 5. So that's where it crosses the y-axis, where it intercepts the y-axis is negative 5. So negative 5 would be b, would be the y-intercept for this. Keep up the good work. You are doing great. If you have any questions, ask us in classroom, email, or jump on our daily Zooms.